Hey, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Lunch and Learn. This is hopefully streaming into my Facebook group, Evolve, Unlock Your Limitless Potential. I'm Joanne Hughes. I'm a mindset manifestation, meditation, spiritual coach. And every Thursday, I do a lunch and learn series where we have different guests on the show, or I'll talk about a particular subject. So today we are talking about energy scanning and how to scan energetically our body. And I started doing this with a friend of mine. We used to just scan each other's bodies sometimes. Um, and we're able to pick up subtleties, subtle changes within the bodies. I know my friend did this for me, and she saw that in my knee there was something that was kind of broken, um, and or a rip, she said, and it was I had torn my meniscus. So we can energetically scan the body. This is also something that I do in my body mind mapping. And the body mind and mapping is being able to scan the body, being able to feel it where in our body our energy is blocked, where there's just where we need to be more attentive to the energy within our body. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Sorry, I just want to make sure that I am streaming into my group. Okay. So our bodies are made up of energy. We have, and now I'm told there's 33 energy centers. I work with 7 energy centers, and those are the ones that to me are the most important to us in our daily life. And these energy centers run from our the base of our spine up to the top of our head. And we also have an energetic field around us, which is called our aura. And we can sense that. And how, if you're not quite sure about your aura, or if you've ever felt your aura, there's things that you can do to be able to sense it. And sometimes it may have been called, or people may have talked about it in terms of your personal bubble or your personal space. So if you do a thing, if you have a friend or partner and you guys stand apart from each other, facing each other, and one closes their eyes and the other starts to move and walk towards them, and you ask them to let you know when they know you're there, when they feel you there. And sometimes, of course, there's maybe they hear you stepping or walking, or maybe there's a shadow, but most of the time they sense you when you enter their auric field, into your aura. Because if you think about it as this wall of energy, and um, as someone's walking into that, it's actually, you can sense that when they break through that energetic field of yours. And I always used to say, because years ago I had left my career and left my city and moved into this tiny little mountain town where it was so quiet, it was so silent. And um, when you're there, there's no noise pollution. Uh, it's just silence. It's so deafening, the silence when you're outside of the city in a little town. And so, of course, I lived there for probably 5 years, and so you're used to that silence, you get used to that peace and quiet, and really, in that kind of a setting, you're really able to feel the energy within your body and the energy around you. because everything has subtle energy. Everything, um, when you're walking through a field, if you're quiet enough and you're tuned in enough, you can feel the energy of the tall grass, the energy of the wind, of the sun, everything around you. It's like if you were to go into a forest and you blindfolded yourself, your other senses would come out stronger and you would be able to hear movement, know where it is, um, hear when there's an animal walking or coming close to you. And I actually used to do some exercises around that with a friend of mine that taught primitive skills to youth and to adults, but at the time it was to adults. And it was actually an animal tracking course. Um, and part of the thing that he would do is that you would go into the forest and you would blindfold yourself, and really your other senses become so heightened. And it was an exercise of sensing what was around us, sensing how to find each other. Um, and it's a really great thing to do, a really great exercise to do. And another thing I like to do for this as well is meditative walking, because when you're in kind of a state of meditation where you're accessing another brainwave, when you're going through and you're walking kind of methodically, um, then you're able to attune and kind of tune into everything around you, but also your body. You become more aware and present within your body because we're more present in the moment. So it's a really, really interesting thing, and a great tool to have. So, why would we use energetic scanning? Well, for one thing, every day it is something that you can do a check in with yourself. If you are starting to get sick, like just with a flu or something, or when there's something in your body that maybe is starting to break down, it's not working right, it just helps you to be aware, A, of your body first and foremost. And also to be able to be present when we're manifesting anything, or when medical miracles happen, it's because people are so tuned into their bodies, they're able to know when something is wrong, but also it's because they achieve a gamma brainwave. But in order to do that, you have to first learn to be really present and really aware of your body. It also helps if you are, just out and about. It's almost when, um, you could be, let's say, walking. It's kind of, I guess, here's a better way for me to put it, is that it's almost like listening to your intuition. If you're walking down a mall and you're walking through a mall, there's a lot of energies, right? There's a lot of noise, there's a lot of distractions, but you may possibly, maybe you're walking and you're going to take an escalator, and all of a sudden you feel your chest tighten. And if you're not aware of that and paying attention, you just carry on. But if you're aware of that and you're paying attention and you kind of stop and you stop for a moment just to check in with yourself to see what that is all about. Maybe you look up because you were looking down. Maybe you're on your phone. You look up and you see that the escalator that you were just about to get on is being fixed, and so there's a panel that's taken off and taken out of it is what I'm trying to say. So little things like that it helps you with, but the most important thing is paying attention to the subtle energies within our own mind, and body. Because if you want to create any kind of change, if you want to experience, good health, relationships, abundance, all of that, it has to do with being able to be attuned to your body and to really be aware of the subtle changes. And you might not understand why or see why just by me saying that, but you will as I go through it, hopefully. And if you have any questions, you can just post under in the comments section underneath this video, and I will respond to it. So, um, you know, again, when I'm working with clients and I'm doing the body mind mapping, someone might come to me and, you know, maybe they just ended a relationship or got out of a relationship. And they came to me and they are questioning why they always seem to attract the same person into their life, or why does the same thing keep happening to me in my life? And the reason is because most of us operate constantly 95% of the time from the unconscious. And so when we're operating in the unconscious, that means that we're guided by our unconscious, or our unconscious mind, is that we have no awareness of the world around us. We have no awareness of inside of our world as well, because we are distracted or focused on something else. And we really want to be present and become aware and conscious in this moment, because that's where the magic happens with everything. That's when, choices are made from the conscious. So it's no longer this program that is out there, this program that's controlling us. We're controlling that program, we're controlling the matrix. And that's a really important thing that we want to all do. But let's say, if you're a coach, if you are an energy worker and you're not used to working with energy scans, you'll understand knowing the energy centers. So it also is really good for business owners, entrepreneurs, healers, light workers to utilize as well. And I want to just really talk here in in terms of why it's important for you. And so, and I just mean just important for you. We'll not talk about what's important in everyday life kind of about it. We'll just talk about why it's important for you. And so, um every day again, being able to physically and energetically sense any kind of shifts. And it could be, because our mind and our thoughts are energy as well, that typically, again, we're driven by the subconscious, by the unconscious, and we're not aware of the thoughts that keep coming up. Sometimes we're not even aware of the shifts in energy in our bodies throughout the day. And sometimes when we are, for instance, going through our day, you had a good night's sleep, and let's say by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, all of a sudden you feel drained again. So, to be aware of why you're feeling drained, because yes, if you didn't have a good night's sleep, I might say it's that, but there's where now you can really assess it is, okay, I had a great night's sleep. Am I ill? Is there something going on internally? And you're able to focus on your body and be able to scan through each energy center to check if there's any blockages, if there's anything within your energy that is making you feel tired, making you feel stuck or stagnant or depressed or angry or frustrated. We're able to really tune into our body bodies and know exactly what's going on. Not only that, but you can use it to be able to know, like I said with my friend saying, "Oh, yeah, there's something torn in your knee," and I tore my meniscus, or, um, maybe you have a pain in your left side and you're kind of wondering, gee, this is new. What is this? Well, you can energetically scan to find out and start becoming the private investigator and the door master, if you will, to your own body, to your own wellness, your mind, body, and soul. And so that's why it's a really, really great tool. So let's talk about energy for a moment. So how do we sense energy? Well, if you, I'm sure you've done this exercise before. If you take your hands and you just put them a little bit apart and you play with the energy that is within your hands, you feel this tingly feeling. You feel sometimes maybe it's warm, maybe it's cool. You can feel that. Like right now, there's a ball in my hands, and I can feel this energy kind of vibrating because I've squished the molecules and the atoms close together. So I can feel this, and I can, move it back and forth like this. I can make it smaller. And I could feel it get really intense when I make it smaller, and I can back off and make it, lighter again. So that's how you can sense your energy. And just if you do this exercise, you can just see, like, okay, is it hot? Is it cold? How does it feel like? What is it? How do you sense it? And just do that. Plus, do the two people standing face to face and one closing their eyes and one coming close and feeling where the energy is. Another way that you can start to work with energy is to meditate. And when you're meditating, just it again brings in that practice of the stillness, being able to cut out all the distractions, out all the sound, all the noise, all the constant chatter in your mind, and really shut all of that down and focus on your body and your energy centers. And so um, that's what those are ways that you can tell if there's energy. You can learn to sense it and what it feels like to you for when you start to implement this practice into your daily routine. And there's other things that you can do. Some of what I've talked about too. Just, you know, as you go through your house, if you are, just slowly, methodically walking through your house and pay attention to when you go through a doorway, when you maybe go into a spare room that is used more for a storage room. You can discover it when you're walking through. I know for myself, when I go into a crystal store, a rock and a gem store, or when I go into a used clothing store or an antique furniture store, just pay attention to as you're moving through either your house. Do you feel a shift in energy from one room to the next when you go through a doorway? Um, when you go from one room to another room. I don't know about you, but I know that because I have done property clearings before, and so I go into people's houses and do property clearings, is that I can walk through the house and not only see certain things which are energy imprints of blobs of energy, I'm gonna call it. I don't know what they're called, but um, you can just okay, if I didn't see it, but if I just felt it, um, you'd be able to sense the energy. I know that there's some houses when I was looking actually out in the little mountain town that I moved to, I was looking for a place to rent. And so I would go see different houses. And in those houses, you know, there was one particular house that I walked into, and right away I was like, okay, get me out of here. Um, it wasn't in the top floor, but in the bottom floor, I went through that. I went down into the bottom floor, the main floor there, or the underneath floor, and I just I just felt this. I could feel the shift in the energy down there, and it was very dark, and it was very heavy, and it was very solid. So, I didn't want that house because I knew that there was an energy in there that I didn't wanna be around, which again is another reason and another good thing to, um, do practice this, because if you're looking for real estate or houses or buying something in a store, a big purchase, you'll know whether you want to buy it or not. But um so yeah, so just we're able to tell when you walk into a room sometimes, how you can tell if someone just had an argument in there, or when something's going on. You walk into the middle of something and everyone's standing there looking at each other, and you're like, what happened? But you can also, not only by looking at them, but you can also sense sometimes the energy. It's sometimes when you're at your friend's house and you just know, okay, I think they want me to go. It's being able to pick up on those subtle energies that we feel around us. So those are just some everyday ways that we can actually look at how in our lives we're able to pick up on energies. And so yeah, sorry, back to the property clearing. How energy can affect us as well. I've done a property clearing on a new business for this gentleman that literally bought this new business. And within, a week of being there, he said that he wanted to get out of the business. His marriage was failing. He just felt really low in his new business, and he was crying, and it was just everything seemed to be breaking down around him. So I went in and did an energy clearing. And as I walked through the rooms, I can sense different energies within each space of this building. And I could also see it, but, walking to one room and feeling just an odd energy, walking into another room feeling really sad, walking into another space and feeling a presence there of a being where I didn't want to stay in that space. Those are ways that when we can connect to our being and we're present in that moment, we can feel these subtle energies, and they affect us in our lives in big, big ways. Um, it's just as, like, if you go into a thrift store and you bought some furniture, and this furniture came from a home where someone passed in it, and then so they were selling the furniture, and you bring that into your home, that that couch or that piece of furniture has energy attached to it, and it will have attached to it the energy that was in that space, and you'll be able to feel that. And so oftentimes, again, going to property clearing, is that there's people that have come to me and said, they're sick, their kids are sick, they're fighting, the husband and wife, there's fighting, and that wasn't the norm before. And so, one of the first questions I ask when I go in and do property clearing is, have you brought something from a thrift store, or, a used clothing store, a furniture store? Do you have a rock, a stone, a crystal? Things that can hold energy, and everything actually can hold energy. But when we're bringing it into our home from another place, it's really important to clear that energy, because energy can wreak havoc the same way that energy within our body can wreak havoc on our health and our vibrancy. So, for instance, if you have a blockage, let's say in the sacral chakra, if you have a blockage in there and you're not paying attention to it, that, it's going to create and cause certain things, a lack of creativity, a disinterest in relationships or a disinterest in your partner. um, and with our root chakra, maybe there's a blockage in that, and we have low libido. We don't feel safe. The bottom three energy centers, which are the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, are all the lower vibrational chakras and are the energy centers that are responsible for lack and survival, anxiety. And so when we can sense that the lower bottom of our energy centers, if there's blockage, if they're starting to get blocked, um, if they've been blocked for a long time, now they're going to start to create a physical symptom. And so being aware of just a what they are. Sorry, I got to put on my glasses. I'm getting um, dizzy trying to look at the screen. But if we are aware and present, um, so that we're able to, do a check-in of the energy centers, we'll know that there's a problem there with those bottom lower energy centers. So it's really important to be able to really learn about energy scans and energy and how to activate our chakras, and looking at ways that we can clear them. And you don't have to be a Reiki master to clear those chakras, not at all. I just want to have a quick check to see if there's any questions for me here. Um, Oops. So, okay. No, we're good. So, what are other ways that we can tell that our energy centers are blocked? Okay. So we can, or just even when energy is affecting us. Like, again, for that gentleman that came to me for the reading, he just bought this business. He should be happy about it. And all of a sudden he's not. So why not? Why is it only when he's in his business that he senses certain things? Is there a certain room in your house where, you feel more stagnant energy around, heavier energy, lighter energy? For instance, if you, let's say, have a room with this that you store things in, but maybe there's a couch in there and a TV, but there's a lot of stuff, and you go into that room and into that space, you might feel, after a few minutes of being in there, you might actually start to feel really tired. You might start to feel heavy. It's almost like that energy takes a hold of you and starts to meld into your energetic body. Those things absolutely happen. And so then if you notice, okay, let's say we clean up that room and you've cleared all the boxes and everything's out of there. Now it's a clear space. Now, when you go in there, you feel really light, you feel energetic, you have lots of time or lots of energy to, do your work and get your emails done and get this, letter written, do whatever it is that you have to do. I know that myself. I've experienced that and noticed that in between the moves that I make. And when you first get there and you have all your stuff all over the place, you can definitely feel the different changes of the energy in the room and in the home. So this really is, again, quite a big thing to be able to sense that, and a really one of the greatest tools to have. So, um, I quickly want to tell you one way that you can tell. So, just sensing, being able to sense the energy within the body to know if it's going slow, if it's stuck. And then again, the other thing to tell that there's trouble is starting to get health issues of any kind. Um, and then the third way that we can tell, if I can just find, oh, here it is you can use a pendulum. And so you can use a pendulum. And if you have a pendulum, and first, I want to just go over buying a pendulum for those of you that maybe don't have a pendulum and are curious about it. So, if you go into a crystal store, a crystal gem store, where they have spiritual books and tapes and incense and candles and tarot, angel cards, you will find some pendulums. And, um, your body can be used as a pendulum. So it's kind of almost like that muscle testing, but you go in and find yourself a pendulum, and you'll feel drawn to a particular pendulum. So go with that. Don't let your mind and your thoughts talk you into and, go rehash it to death about should I get the purple one or the blue one. Just go into a store, whatever one you feel drawn to, pick that up, hold it. In your mind, you can, it's what we call programming it. So when you buy it, um, well, you're going to want to take it home and cleanse it, of course, but you can hold the pendulum while you're in the store in your hand. You can stand with your feet a little bit, apart, and you close your eyes and take a deep breath just to bring your energy in and settle in your center. And you say in your head, "Show me a hard yes." And your body will sway a certain way. So for me, I know I start to fall backwards. That's my yes. And then you do the same thing again and you say, "Show me a hard no." And for me, I go forward. So it's almost like you're the human pendulum. Some people might go sideways. So just try that. Try that just, by yourself. Try it right now. Actually, stand up, close your eyes, put your legs slightly apart, take the deep breath, and say, "Show me a hard yes." And then feel the motion of, for some it might be drastic, for others it's going to be subtle. Your body will sway in a certain way. That's how you can tell what's a yes and a no. Then you go and you choose your pendulum in the store and you hold on to the pendulum, and you can ask, well, it's in your hand, you can say, "Is this the right pendulum for me?" And you'll sway back or forth either for yes or no. And then by that, bring it home. You put salt, pink salt, Himalayan pink salt or sea salt into a bowl. If you can, filtered water, better yet, moon water or new moon water that you've put outside or on the windowsill at the night of a full moon. Put the water in there, stir it, keep it overnight or just for a little bit. 5 minutes is even fine. Rinse it, dry it off. That's just to cleanse any energies from it. If you don't want to do that for some reason, incense also works. Sage works just to clear it and, to surround it with the smoke. And so then you have to program your pendulum. So you want to ask your pendulum, um, "Show me a hard yes." So, for those of you who you probably see this now. So, a hard yes for me in the pendulum is back and forth like this. And that's a yes, and a no is side to side. So, that's how it's shown to me. So, then when you have your pendulum, You can, if you have a partner, a spouse, you can lie down on a flat surface and you can take the pendulum and you can start at the base of your spine, which is in your pelvic area there, and you hold the pendulum over that chakra, and you can just hold it there, and it'll actually. So if I move it closer to my heart, I'm just going to hold it here. Okay, now I'm not asking it any questions or anything like that. What it's doing is spinning around. And so when it spins around, it's not going to do a yes or no. It's going to go around in a circle. And that's because there's a flow of energy within your chakras. And if all your chakras are open, that is going to be swinging around in a circle through all your chakras. If there's some blockage, what it might do is just start to swing back and forth. If it's weak, or it'll swing when it swings back and forth over a chakra really fast, is kind of there's an overactivity there. Um, but a circle is that it's cleared, back and forth. Too much is there's too much activity in there. And what that could mean is just the vibration in that chakra. If you think about the brain being incoherent, so when the brain is coherent or the heart is coherent, what happens is you have a slow and steady beat, right? It'll do this all the time. It's rhythmic, it's consistent, it's in order. But when it's inconsistent, then and all over the place, it's not beating in a consistent rhythmic beat. It's just like doot, doot, just a different all over the place or erratic beat. And so if you think about that, so when you think about your energy center being overactive, um, how I would say that that is being incoherent, that it's just this vibration in it that is not beating or that's not vibrating in the way it should be. And so you want it to vibrate in a different way. So I would work on that by clearing the energy, focusing on what it is. Okay, so I don't want to get carried away with so many topics here. So using a pendulum over your chakras, and you could do it yourself, either lying down or just standing up and putting them to your chakras. So, of course, um, in the groin, above the groin area, just in the, the very lower part of the stomach, which would be the base of the spine, is our root. Then underneath the belly button is our sacral. Above the belly button is solar plexus, our heart, our throat, our third eye, and our crown. Um, the crown, the third eye really isn't a chakra. It is an energy center, but um, so I probably confused you with that. Um, too. Okay, no, sorry, it is. That's in the seventh. The third eye. Yes, it is in the seven. So seven energy centers is what we're working with. Um, okay. So, um, each one of those chakras has a different color, has a frequency, and when they are open and vibrating and working properly, the energy in them spins. So there's this energy within them. So when they get broken down or when they get weak or when they're blocked, you're not going to feel that energy in it. And so a good practice to get into is when you want to start to put this into practice and just to learn it, to work with it, to play with it, is in the mornings when you get up, just, grounding yourself, centering yourself. Do your morning ritual, whatever that is. Maybe you light a candle, an incense. Maybe you smudge yourself first. Maybe you do a meditation, and then what I would do is I would close both or close the eyes and just tap, double tap it on each chakra, on each energy center, and just say activate. And then I would hold my hands above that because energy comes through our crown chakra, through our heart, down our arms, and out our hands. And so, even you don't have to do that. You can just tap on every energy center twice and say activate. It's almost like just putting your attention, focusing. You want to just center your attention on that. Yeah, so just to bring your awareness to it. So just even let's forget about the hands and the energy coming out. I don't want to complicate this. Just double tap on each energy center and say activate. And then close your eyes, take a deep breath. You want to bring your energy down into the center of your body. And then you just want to be able to start at the top of the head and kind of just feel the top of the head. So I would do this quietly. I would give myself a good hour to do this. I would start at the top of the head and just feel. Now you can visualize a light coming moving down into the crown, a nice perfect ball of white light. And as it comes down into your head, you can see this white light illuminate. However you do it best, just, maybe it's even more tapping that you do, and then just sitting and feeling that the top of the head, the crown, and just feeling and trying to see with your third eye what's there. So, you're at the crown, you're looking at the crown, you're feeling this light move through the crown chakra. You can ask yourself, how am I feeling? Is there anything I need to know here? And just moving your way down into the third eye and then stopping in the middle of your eyes here or your eyebrows and just sensing that space. And again, the easiest thing I find is picturing a ball of white light coming into the crown and moving slowly down. It's light, this ball that comes through. And as it's coming here between your eyebrows, you can just sense, like, how am I feeling there? Does it feel open? Does it feel constricted? Does it feel expansive or small? Is it open? And as you're doing that, you can also, again, just keep tapping and, with the intent of clearing each of these centers. So then just continue down to the throat and feeling again. How does my throat feel? Is it warm? Is it cold? Does it feel blocked in any way, expansive? Do you see color when your eyes are closed and you're moving energy from your crown and looking down? And just start doing that all the way down through the body. So again, when you get to the chest, you're in your heart chakra. So you want to be able to, feeling this energy come down. Maybe it's a smaller light and see it grow so it covers all your chest, even going beyond into your aura. And I always say a good thing to kind of consider is 2 feet on either side around you. And just, you're really meditating on each of those centers. You're sitting still And for those of you that find it really hard to meditate, you just have to keep recentering yourself and bringing yourself back to your body. It's because, again, you want to be in control of the program. You don't want your body to be in control of you or your thoughts and your mind to be. You're the master. You're the one who, just has to say, okay, I'm committed to doing this. I'm going to sit. I can get up and do everything I need to do later. So when you feel your mind start to wander, just bring it back to center, bring it back into your body. And again, you're seeing this light go all the way down and stop and pause in each energy center because it's a practice. If it's not something you're used to doing, it's something that you have to continually work on, continually do every day to grow it, right? It's like if you haven't ridden a bike for a long time and all of a sudden you ride it, it takes a little bit of practice to get back into it. If it's something that you haven't used and you've never ridden that bike, it takes a little while to learn how to ride the bike. So just keep, be really patient. Keep practicing every day, breathing, bringing your energy down into your body from the top. Trying to, I like to visualize again a light within me. Visualize that light expanding and growing past you. um, Also, before you do it, you can start from the base of your spine and the root chakra and start to inhale to draw up the energy from the lower realms and bring them up to the top of your head as well before you start. And then again, taking your breath to center that light in your heart, moving through the chakras. Every time you get to an energy center, you just ask yourself, how does this feel? How am I feeling? Does it feel heavy? Because sometimes when you're in stress response all the time, you're going to feel it in your body, right? For me, it's a tight chest. For a friend of mine, she feels it in her sinuses. For other people, it's in their throat. So just depending on where you hold this energy, when you're, you know, in energy, or sorry, when you're in emergency mode, stress mode, when you're in anxiety, you're going to feel that somewhere in your body. So you're just really, again, checking in. How are you feeling? How am I feeling? Does it feel hot? Does it feel cold? Is there a color? Do you see a slight aura or a shining of a color? Just stop and listen. I would ask too, are there any messages that my heart wants to give me, that my solar plexus wants to give me, that my root chakra want to give me? Pausing at each energy center to get messages visually, um, physically, emotionally. You really just to do this and to find it. So do this every day. Have it take out a journal, write down in your journal, the things that you're getting when you're doing this scanning. Um, you know, you start to do that and do that every day until you start to feel something or get something. And do it throughout the day because there's gonna be times, let's say you're at work and all of a sudden, you know, you're sitting there and, um, maybe you don't notice, but you stop and check in with yourself and you kind of tap on your centers and you're, bringing your awareness to all of these centers and feeling, "Okay, how am I feeling?" You're going to sorry, you're going to be able to tell if you are if you're holding on to stress, if you are constricted, are you tightening your jaw? Do you have a headache? I mean, I know it sounds silly, trust me, but I know that most people don't even know if they're feeling sick. And one time I did ask a friend, I said, "Are you not feeling well?" And she said, "I don't know." So, really, in society, we have this kind of blatant loosey goosey um, awareness of our being in our body and how we're feeling. So um, really asking yourself those questions and doing that check-in throughout the day is going to help you to, just practice this energy scanning. Doing it if you have kids, if you have a partner, just putting your hand on top of all and running them down the energy centers and feeling, where is it cold? Is it warm? Is it more tingly? Is it less tingly? Just sensing that, and again, practicing it, in everyday life when we are walking around the house. Really what it is bringing your attention into this moment and being really present and aware and awake, and then you'll start to, notice and become aware of those subtle shifts, and then when you practice it throughout your body, you will notice the shifts within your body um, and being aware of all that. So that's another thing you can do. And then again, as you're practicing and you're getting used to doing this, let's say, okay, you've done it for a month now, if you've never done this, and you've been practicing every day for a month, and you're starting to become aware of the shifts of energy around you and within you. So now what you might practice doing again is doing it quickly, but moving your eye and kind of, it's like your eye is a scanner. Like if you put a paper on a photocopier or scanner, it moves back and forth. So now you kind of go and you're moving it back and forth to see on different sides, on either side of the body, the left, the middle, the right, the middle, the left, and beyond. And just as a be you become the scanner of your body, and you'll start to do that. And do that for a while and practice with that and see again how you can feel it, what you're sensing. And then you'll start to practice it on other people. You may, maybe you have friends over and you ask, "Hey, can I put my hand on your knee for a minute?" And you can, feel the knee. You can just be close to them and maybe they're talking to you, maybe you're at a party, just beginning to pick up energies around you, again, is a practice of feeling energy within someone else's body and your own. But you're going to be able to do all of that stuff once you practice this and work on it every day and make it a part of your daily ritual. And then, then you can do the checks. You can do a check-in by doing the energy scanning. You can check in using a pendulum. You can check in and try to, use your hand again because as a Reiki master, when you're doing Reiki and energy work for people, we will sense different temperatures around different chakras and the body parts. We may sense if something needs attention or sorry, I lost my thought. Oh, or sometimes you'll notice a flash of something, a picture, a sign, a symbol as you're moving through the different energy centers. So those are some things that you can do to start to practice daily on tuning into your body. But the very first place to start is um, to, play around with energy around you. Do, the energy ball thing. When you're sitting, maybe you're sitting next to your partner or across from your partner, and, you can just do it where you're trying to sense their energy. And we do this every day. And we really know it when someone's upset, when someone's angry or frustrated. We besides the verbal parts of it, we can pick up on the energetic imprints of that as well. So that's the energy scanning, and I'll just do a quick check in my group. Um, But so this will be placed on my YouTube channel in on Vibrant Living, and this will also be on my intuitively guided readings by Joanne 007. And so it'll be on my YouTube channels and in the comments where the video is posted. If you have a question around this, you can post a question and I can address those questions by video down the road as well. And there will be a course coming up in the very near future once we get Valentine's Day out of the way. And so just keep watch for that as well. So thank you so much, everybody. For the people that are watching this on YouTube, it would mean so much to me if you would hit the subscribe button, the like button, and leave a comment or a question in the comments section. That would be really, really great. Thank you so much, everybody. And I will see you next Thursday for our next Lunch and Learn. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful day.